Hi, welcome to Miss Annette's Little Farm in the big city. It's a beautiful day here on the little farm. It's a noisy day though. There's all kinds of construction going on, airplanes flying by, people walking by, talking on their phones. It's very noisy. We're going to persevere though. Today I want to take you around the farm and give you a little fall tour. We've had a spring tour, we've had a summer tour, but we've never done a fall tour of the little farm. And things do look a little bit different depending on the seasons. So today, let's go take a walk around the little farm and see what's going on. I always like to start my tours at the compost pile, because without the compost pile, the little farm would be overrun in animal poo. It's one of the most vital components to the farm to keep things sanitary and keep things under control. Since we live in the city, security cameras are a vital component as well. We have security cameras hidden around the little farm to keep our animals safe and keep our property safe. Now let's go ahead and get through the gate. It's a little bit scary this time of year, but not too scary. One of the first things I show our visitors when they come, besides the compost pile, is this sign right here. The next stop is the garden. I like to call our garden a succession garden, which means that when something has passed its prime and we pulled it out, we replant something to take its place. There's always something growing here on the little farm. Right now, we have our cold weather crops in, like I said, but we also planted our garlic, which will be growing all through the winter and will be harvested in early summer. So there's always something growing in the garden. Now, you might have noticed that there's a beehive in the garden. We keep bees here on the little farm as well. We only keep 1 to 2 hives. We never get too many because, of course, it's a small farm and we don't have a whole lot of space to keep bees. We keep bees inside the garden because the garden is gated and fenced in, and that's for the protection of our guests that come to visit us here on the little farm. We want to make sure that no one gets stung or is too frightened by the bees to continue with the tour. Now, we have this driveway right here. The garden is on one side, and we grow bamboo on the other side for privacy and seclusion. I have one box here, garden box here. I have one raised bed here that I built a few summers ago, and I would really like to build a few more to line up this driveway. Maybe I will next summer, huh? Now we're going to go into this area right here. This area right here is kind of our outdoor living room. We have this nice cozy space to stay sheltered from the rain and from the hot sun. A nice cozy place to just sit and relax and enjoy ourselves. Mr. Steve built this. Now, to some of you, this may look like a garage, but actually, we've never even put a car in here, especially since we got animals. Our garage has been converted into a barn. As a matter of fact, we use it as a barn so much, I don't call it garage, I call it barn. We keep our animal food in here, and we keep it in large cans, metal cans, so the mice can't get into it. So we keep the chicken feed, the goat feed, and any kind of minerals or any kind of supplements that they have, we keep it. So we have 3 big cans of food. And we also keep all of our gardening equipment in here. And our motorbikes. Let's go a little further in and you will see we keep our hay in here. And this is where we keep our hay to keep it warm. Originally, when we built our other barn for the animals, we built a peaked roof so it would be big enough to keep our hay. Well, it turns out it was such a nice cozy spot for the hay that the raccoons decided to move in. And we can't have that because raccoons are, first of all, they carry disease and they kill chickens. So we moved all the hay from the barn into the garage, and we've been keeping it in the garage ever since. And that was about 2 years ago when we came across that happening to us. Now the garage also keeps all of our things that we need, all of our supplies, all of our medicines, everything that we need for our animals and our garden, we keep in here. Also, we keep everything in here for building and repairing things. So it's a really handy space to have. Now, so we have the garage barn, we have the garage barn, we have the garden, we have our outdoor living space. Then we have this space over here. And this space leads to our herb garden where we have herbs still growing. We keep sage and basil, thyme, rosemary, oregano, a little bit of cilantro, and we have over here, we have our mint and our chives. We have a sandbox right here. I built this with my grandson when he was about a year old. He's 22 now. And of course there's all sorts of toys and things to play in the sandbox with here at Miss Annette's little farm. And then this beautiful table Mr. Steve built me, and this is where we like to sit outside and have our meals with our family. It's always a lot of fun to sit outside together and have a meal. And then we'll go over here to what I like to call my tea garden. It's my little fountain that I put in last year, or this last summer. And there's a door. You look out the door, there's a big dump truck out there right now. Look at that. Anyway, this is my tea garden. It's very peaceful. Now, here's the dining table, and here is my cold frame. And right now, I have some little baby lettuces coming up in my cold frame, and I'm hoping to keep them all the way through November. And here is my path to my fairy garden. I'm getting a trellis for my climbing roses to go up over here, and I ordered it a while ago, but it still hasn't come. So once I get it, I'll let you guys know, alright? There's my lilac tree, And then I'll have a little trellis right here leading to the fairy garden. But we'll go to the fairy garden from the other way. Of course, the bees are really busy. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a turn here. There's a path here and a path there. But we're going to go ahead and take this path. And this path leads to my shade garden. And I'm working on this garden, trying to build it up with hostas and ferns and just a little bit by little bit. And we had some things come back, so I am still working on this. My dream is for this to be really lush and very foresty looking. But it's, you know, a little bit at a time. It'll get there. And here we go on the path. Past the shade garden to the side of the garage. And here you have a choice. You can go to the fairy garden or the teepee. And we're going to go to the fairy garden first. And from the fairy garden you can see the dining area. And here's the fairy garden. And it is actually not a fairy garden right now. Right now, it's a scary garden. Oops. Better than candy. Alright, so we have seen the fairy garden. We're going to go ahead and take this little path down to the teepee. This is so much fun. I'm glad you guys stopped in to see where we're going. And here is the reading teepee. And I call it the reading teepee because it's so much fun to snuggle in there with a good book and watch the animals and just sit and relax. Now, beside the reading teepee, we have the fire pit. Now, the fire pit used to be over there, but we moved it over here because it had a bigger open space. We're so surrounded by trees here, it's hard to believe that we live in a city, but we do. We planted a lot of these trees. And since we've been here such a long time, the trees are now mature and giving us a lot of shade, which is good and bad sometimes, according to the grass. There's the swing. And then there's the barn. Look at that barn. Isn't it cute? Mr. Steve built and designed it. All right. So let's take a good look at the barn. It has a very high peaked roof. Some of the parts of the barn are reused. The door and the little shutters were reclaimed, and then the tile up there and the light. So it's really quaint and cute. This part of the paddock. Now we have this big, huge paddock It goes all the way across our backyard. And this part of the paddock is basically where the chickens are. And when we go in the barn, you'll see a little bit clearer. But, so this is where the chickens come in and out of the barn. And we close it at night. During the summer, we have a gate. And then during the winter, we use a door like this. This is the door. So we use that in the wintertime to keep it from drafting. But during the summer, we like to have a lot of airflow in there. And this is where I put their food. And we keep the food on this side. We try to keep the goats from eating it because the goats could get very sick eating all the chicken food. You can see behind the barn is Leche, because she saw me back here. And we have this little opening, and this opening is just big enough for the chickens to get in and out, but not the goats. So the goats can't come over here and eat all of this and make themselves sick. So that's why we have this space between, and of course we have this lovely chain link fence, and that keeps little goaty goats from getting upset tummies. Right, baby? Yeah, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. Alright. And we'll go back around and we'll go to the other side of the barn before we go inside. Okay? Hang on. So on the other side of the barn, we'll talk about this little area here in a little bit. But right now, this is the paddock where all the animals hang out during the day, during the afternoon. And we have all sorts of things here for them. We have the hay. We have things for them to walk on. Hi, babies. We have their water buckets. This is, I need to dig this in. I just got this tire. I need to put it into the ground a little bit more so that the chickens can have a place to put their sand and stuff so they can take a bath. We have places for the goats to sit on. The goats love these rocks. They love to scratch their bellies on these big stones and walk on them. More chickens. And we have these old cushions up here. The goats like to lay down on them. And here's the other side of the barn. This is what we just showed you. And then this is how the goats get in and out of the barn. They have their own little opening. And as with the chicken, we have gate. The gate is... What's going on, Cotton? What happened? What happened? Is Timmy in the well? Are you okay? All right. All right. Thank you. Anyway, the goats get in and out this way. And this is Dulce. She's so pretty. Oh my goodness. And their fur is getting so thick right now because they're getting ready for winter. Look at that. And they're so soft and black. This little area here used to be exclusively the duck paddock, but it's not anymore. It's a paddock for all the chickens and the ducks, because when we first got ducks, we didn't know how well they would get along with the other animals, so we kept them segregated, but we don't have to anymore. We realize that everybody gets along. So this little house used to be the duck house, and before that it was the chicken house, but now the ducks and the goats and the chickens all stay in the big barn together for safety reasons. This little barn all by itself out here just wasn't secure, and we lost our runner ducks to a fox, I believe. Got in there and took them away from us. So let's go inside and see what's going on in the barn. Now, turn on the light. We do have electricity in the barn. There's another bag, a bag of hay for the goats, and then the goats' minerals and their baking soda, which they always make that a mess. Now, in the barn, this is how this works. The goats usually sleep on the platform, and the ducks sleep under there. And then when they come into bed at night, the ducks, I put this grate across the front of this so that the little ducks will not get hurt by the goats, which I don't think they will, but just in case. And then, this is that part. And then the other part of the barn is for the chickens. And the chickens, here's their roost. Here are their laying boxes, which right now everybody's molting, so nobody's laying any eggs. And there's that little hole I showed you. So they can get in and out. And they usually put themselves to bed. So that is that. And there's a light here and a light there. And you can see we have a very tall roof because we were going to store our hay there until the raccoons ruined it. We have an outlet in case we need to put any kind of a fan or a heater, which we would never put a heater out in the barn, but we did put a fan out this summer because we needed to get that air circulating for the animals. And it's a very simple barn. This little thing right here gives us the temperature and the humidity in the barn, and it reads out inside of the house. So it is remote. Let's see what else. You can see where the duckies sleep. I should have taken a picture of them this morning in there, but I missed it. Sorry. Well, that is it. That's the tour. I think that's everything there is to see. Oh, I have a little duck here that wants some wormies. I'll back up so you can see. All right. All right, so that's the tour. And I guess the airplane is doing. Oh, you don't want wormies. Oh, I never saw such silly, selfish goats in my life. We're getting overrun with animals. Hi, precious. Hi. Uh-oh, be nice, be nice. Oh my goodness. That's about enough of that, I think. Well, that's the fall tour of the little farm, and I hope you enjoyed it because I really enjoyed having you along. Thank you. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for the likes. I appreciate it so much. Having you around makes my heart happy, and you are just chef's kiss. Thank you. Thank you for visiting me here on this nice little farm in the big city. Make sure you get outside today if you can. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Love you.